Zuri, a kind and gentle schoolteacher from Mombasa, had waited her whole life to find someone like Tendai. He was charming, thoughtful, and everything she had dreamed of. Their wedding felt like a fairy tale. Beautiful flowers, heartfelt vows, laughter, and dancing under the stars. Everyone said they were perfect together. For their honeymoon, they flew to Cape Verde, a beautiful island with clear blue water and soft white sand. Zuri believed it was the start of their forever. But just 2 days into the trip, something unexpected happened. While unpacking Tendai's jacket to hang it in the closet, she felt something heavy in the pocket. Curious, she reached in and pulled out a small ring box. Her heart skipped a beat. Was it a surprise gift? But when she opened it, her smile slowly faded. Inside was a shiny ring, but the tag didn't say her name. It had someone else's initials. Confused and frozen, Zuri just stared at it. The dream she had been living suddenly cracked. Why was her husband carrying a ring for another woman? On their honeymoon, her heart began to sink, but she stayed silent. Something inside her had already changed. Zuri didn't say a word. Her fingers were shaking as she quietly placed the ring box back into Tendai's jacket pocket. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She just stood there, frozen for a moment, staring at nothing, feeling her heart beat loudly in her chest. Her mind was racing, but her face showed nothing. That evening, she acted like everything was fine. She smiled at Tendai like she always did. She kissed him sweetly before dinner. She laughed at his silly jokes and even posed with him for beach photos, the kind that couples post with hashtags like #forevermine. No one could tell anything was wrong, but deep inside, Zuri felt like her whole world had turned upside down. Her heart was breaking, quietly and painfully. She had so many questions in her head. Why did he have a ring for someone else? Who was it meant for? And why was he carrying it now, on their honeymoon, just days after saying, "I do"? Was this all a lie? Was she just another name on his list? The pain sat deep in her chest, like a heavy stone, but she kept breathing, smiling, pretending. She needed time to think, to understand, and most of all, to plan. That night, when Tendai fell asleep beside her, Zuri stared at the ceiling in the dark. She replayed everything in her mind. The wedding, the vows, the look in his eyes when he said he loved her. Was that all fake? Her stomach turned. She barely slept. She waited until she heard the sound of the shower running the next morning. Then, with shaky hands, she reached for his phone. She told herself it was wrong, but her heart begged for the truth. What she found shattered her completely. Dozens of messages, photos, and voice notes with a woman saved as T-Magic. The chats had been going on for months, all through their engagement. Hotel bookings, flirty selfies, and one voice note where he said, "I'll give you the ring in person soon. She'll never know." Zuri couldn't breathe. Her eyes filled with tears, but she didn't let them fall. Not yet. She took screenshots of everything, every message, every photo, every receipt. Then she picked up Tendai's jacket again and carefully snapped a picture of the ring. She now had proof, and she wasn't going to be silent anymore. But Zuri didn't scream or confront him. She didn't throw the phone or demand answers. No, she had a better idea. She smiled to herself, calm and cold, like never before. She picked up the resort phone and booked a luxury spa appointment, but not for her, not for Tendai. She booked it in the name she saw in the chats, T-Magic. Then she sent all the screenshots to the number, along with the photo of the ring and a short message. "You can have him. I hope the ring fits. I'm keeping the receipts." Zuri didn't wait for a reply. She didn't care what the other woman had to say. She packed her things, walked to the front desk, and checked out of the honeymoon suite. She booked a new room under her maiden name. No one needed to know who she was. She turned off her phone and took one last deep breath of the ocean air. It was over. Whatever she thought she had with Tendai was done. She flew back home alone, holding her head high. No tears, no drama, just quiet strength. Back in Kenya, she wasted no time. She filed for an annulment and made sure every legal step was taken. She also did one more thing. She shared her story anonymously on social media. She didn't name names, But she told the truth about the ring, the messages, the betrayal, and the silent strength it took to walk away. Within hours, the post went viral. Women from all over shared it, commented, and sent messages of support. Silent warrior, they called her. Queen energy. The story got over 3 million views and 40,000 shares in just a few days. Zuri never responded to the comments. She didn't want attention, but she was proud that her story was helping others. She knew there were so many women out there going through similar pain, and she hoped they would find the courage to walk away too. Months later, Zuri started something new, a small retreat in Dar es Salaam for women who needed healing. It became a quiet, peaceful space where women could talk, learn, and rebuild their strength. She shared her story only when she felt it would help someone else. She never mentioned Tendai's name again. As for him, no one really knows where he is now. Some say he left the country. Others say he tried to reach out, but Zuri never answered. Maybe he still has that ring. Maybe he finally gave it to someone else. But one thing is certain. He lost the real jewel he had. And Zuri, she found something even better than love, herself. The next morning, Zuri woke up with a heavy heart. Tendai was still asleep beside her, breathing softly like nothing was wrong. But inside Zuri, everything had changed. Her smile was gone. Her trust was broken. She couldn't pretend anymore. As soon as Tendai got up and went into the shower, she sat up in bed. Her hands were shaking, but her mind was clear. She had to know the full truth. She reached for his phone. She knew it wasn't right to go through someone's private messages, but after finding that ring, she needed answers. Her fingers moved quickly, searching his chats. Then she saw it. A contact saved as T Magic. The name alone made her heart drop. She opened the chat, and the pain hit her like a wave. Dozens of messages, not from months ago, but all during their engagement. While they were planning their wedding, he was busy planning secret meetings with another woman. Zuri felt sick. There were smiling selfies, flirty texts and hotel booking confirmations, photos of dinner dates, beach walks, and even cozy nights in. He had told her he was working late or visiting his cousin, but he had been with her, with T Magic. Zuri scrolled further. She found voice notes. She pressed play. It was Tendai's voice, soft and sweet, saying things like, "You know you're the one I want," and "I'll give you the ring in person soon. She'll never know." That last message hit Zuri the hardest. She'll never know. But she did know now. Every word, every lie, every plan that was made behind her back, it was all here. She felt her stomach twist. Her hands were cold. Her chest was tight. But she didn't cry. Not now. Instead, she took screenshots of everything. The pictures, the messages, the voice notes. She even went back to Tendai's jacket, pulled out the ring again, and took a clear photo of it in her palm. She was quiet, focused, and calm. No more guessing, no more hope. This was her truth, and now she was going to decide what came next. Zuri didn't scream. She didn't storm into the bathroom to confront him. That would have been easy. But Zuri wasn't interested in drama. She wanted to be smart. She wanted to hit him where it hurt the most. His ego, his lies. She sat on the edge of the bed and thought for a long time. Then, a small cold smile appeared on her face. She had a plan. She picked up the hotel phone and called the front desk. "Hello," she said softly. "I'd like to book a spa treatment for someone." "Name?" "Yes, T Magic." After she hung up, she opened WhatsApp, clicked on the T Magic contact, and attached every screenshot, every picture, and the photo of the ring. Then, with her heart pounding, she typed a short message. "You can have him. I hope the ring fits. I'm keeping the receipts." And she hit send. She sat back, her hands still trembling, but she felt something powerful growing inside her. Peace, control, strength. She didn't wait for a reply. She didn't care what T Magic thought or felt. This wasn't about her. It was about Zuri finally choosing herself. She stood up, packed her suitcase quietly, and looked around the honeymoon suite one last time. It had been decorated with rose petals and candles just days before. Now it felt like a lie. She walked out, went to the front desk, and checked out without a word. Then she booked a new room in the same resort under her maiden name. She wanted no connection to Tendai. He didn't even notice she was gone until hours later, and by then, she had already blocked him. When Zuri flew back home to Kenya, she felt free. Heartbroken, yes, but free. She contacted a lawyer and started the process for an annulment. She was married only a few days, but the betrayal felt like a lifetime. She also made one more brave choice. She opened her laptop and anonymously posted her story on social media. She didn't name Tendai. She didn't shame T-Magic. She just told the story of a woman who found out the truth on her honeymoon, stayed calm, and walked away with her dignity. The post exploded online. Within hours, it had thousands of likes. Then came the comments. Women called her a hero, a silent warrior. Messages poured in saying, "You saved me. This gave me strength." And, "Thank you for speaking up." The story was shared over 40,000 times, viewed more than 3 million times, and turned into a symbol of quiet power. Zuri never expected any of it. She wasn't looking for attention. She just didn't want to carry the pain alone anymore. And through that pain, something beautiful was born. A few months later, Zuri moved to Dar es Salaam and opened a small retreat space for women. A quiet, peaceful place where newlyweds, brides-to-be, and even heartbroken women could come, talk, and heal. She never told them her full story unless they needed it. But when she did, they listened. Because she wasn't just a schoolteacher anymore. She was a reminder that love should never come with lies, and that sometimes walking away is the strongest thing a woman can do. Zuri now knew the truth, and it burned inside her like fire. The man she had trusted with her whole heart, the man she had promised forever to, was planning to give another woman a ring. During their honeymoon, she felt anger rise slowly inside her, but she didn't let it explode. She kept it quiet, calm, sharp like a knife. She had always been the quiet one, the gentle one, the one who forgave too easily. But not this time. This time, Zuri decided she wasn't going to cry in a bathroom or beg for answers. No, Tendai was going to feel every bit of what he had done to her. He was going to learn that the softest woman can become the strongest storm when she is betrayed. She sat in the quiet hotel room, listening to the waves outside the window, and one by one, she copied everything from his phone. She took screenshots of the messages between Tendai and the woman saved as T-Magic. Each message was a stab to her heart, but she didn't stop. She took her time, carefully saving all the photos of their secret meetups, the hotel receipts, the voice notes full of fake promises. Then she took the ring out of Tendai's jacket again and snapped a clear picture of it in her hand. It was a beautiful ring, gold, shiny, sparkling, but now it meant nothing. It was just a symbol of his lies. But Zuri didn't stop there. She opened her phone, went to the resort's website and made a spa appointment, a full treatment, massage, facial, the works. But it wasn't for Tendai, and it wasn't for herself. She booked it under the name she had seen in the chats. T-Magic, a little surprise, a little message that said, "I see you, I know what you've done." She didn't want to fight over a man. She didn't want revenge in the usual way. She just wanted the other woman to know the truth, the real truth. Then Zuri opened WhatsApp, clicked on the T-Magic contact, and sent everything. All the screenshots, all the photos, and the picture of the ring. She took a deep breath, typed one short message, and hit send. "You can have him. I hope the ring fits. I'm keeping the receipts." Just like that, she ended it. No begging, no screaming, just the truth, served cold and clear. She didn't wait for a reply. She didn't care if T-Magic cried or laughed or denied it. That wasn't her business. She had done her part. The truth was out. After that, Zuri packed her things. She didn't tell Tendai a word. She didn't leave a note. She simply checked out of their honeymoon suite and booked a new room in the same resort, but under her maiden name. She needed space. She needed silence. The woman who had arrived in Cape Verde full of love and dreams was gone. In her place was a woman who had seen the worst and still stood tall. Tendai didn't even realize she was gone until later that night, and by then, Zuri had already blocked him on everything. The next morning, Zuri boarded a flight back to Kenya. She didn't look back. She stared out the airplane window, not thinking about the wedding, or the beach photos, or the sweet lies he used to tell. She was thinking about what came next, healing, starting fresh, and never allowing anyone to break her again. When she landed, she went straight to a lawyer and filed for an annulment. She showed the proof. No questions were asked, just cold, hard truth, the kind you can't unsee. But Zuri wasn't done. One night, alone in her small apartment, she opened her laptop and wrote everything down. Not his name, not her pain, just the story. A woman, a wedding, a ring meant for someone else, a silent decision to walk away. She posted it anonymously on social media, thinking maybe a few people might read it. But within hours, the post went viral. Thousands of women shared it, commented and sent messages. "You're brave. You're an example. Thank you for speaking up." The story reached over 3 million views. It was everywhere. People called her the silent warrior. Some called her the queen of quiet revenge. Zuri just smiled. She never replied to a single message. She didn't need to. Months passed, and Zuri found her peace in a new way. She moved to Dar es Salaam and opened a retreat for women, a safe space for those who had been lied to, hurt, or broken. She hosted small circles, healing workshops, and quiet walks by the sea. Sometimes she shared her story, not to get sympathy, but to show that even the worst betrayal doesn't have to break you forever. You can stand again, you can heal, and you can walk away with your head held high. No one knows where Tendai is now. He disappeared after the social media post went viral. Maybe he saw it, maybe he didn't. Maybe he gave the ring to someone else. Maybe he still keeps it hidden, a reminder of the woman he lost. But one thing is for sure, he didn't just lose Zuri. He lost a woman who would have given him everything. And Zuri, she didn't just survive, she bloomed. Because when the wrong man leaves your life, the right version of you finally steps in. By the end of that long, painful day, everything had changed. Tendai had no idea yet, but his world was already starting to fall apart. T Magic, the woman he had been secretly messaging and making promises to, had received everything Zuri sent. The screenshots, the photos, the voice notes, and that one powerful message. "You can have him. I hope the ring fits. I'm keeping the receipts." There were no replies, no angry words, no drama, just silence. And then, not long after, T Magic blocked Tendai. Just like that, his little fantasy fell apart. Zuri hadn't needed to scream, fight, or beg. The truth had done all the work for her. That evening, while the sun was setting in Cape Verde, Zuri quietly checked out of the honeymoon suite where just days earlier, she and Tendai had toasted to forever. She didn't cry. She didn't look back. She simply booked a new room in the same resort, but this time under her maiden name. No Mrs. Anything. Just Zuri, the woman who had arrived full of dreams and was now leaving full of strength. She spent the night alone, letting the ocean breeze calm her heart. She ordered room service, sat on the balcony, and watched the waves. No more lies, no more pretending, just her and her peace. Once she landed back in Kenya, Zuri didn't waste time. She walked into a law office and filed for an annulment. The marriage had only lasted a few days, but the betrayal had gone much deeper than that. She showed the evidence. The lawyer didn't even need to ask too many questions. Everything was there. The proof of infidelity, the messages, the ring meant for someone else. The process began quietly, but Zuri felt lighter already. She was no longer carrying the weight of his lies. She was reclaiming her life, but something inside her still needed release. She had held everything in, the shock, the heartbreak, the anger, and now it needed a place to go. So, one evening, sitting on her couch in the same quiet apartment where she used to dream of love, Zuri opened her laptop. She began typing her story. She didn't name names. She didn't seek revenge. She just told the truth, her truth. She wrote about the wedding that felt like a dream, the honeymoon that turned into a nightmare, and the moment she found a ring in her husband's jacket meant for another woman. She wrote about choosing silence over chaos, grace over drama, and most importantly, about walking away with her head held high. She posted the story anonymously on social media. No hashtags, no tags, just words from the heart. She didn't expect anything. Maybe a few people would read it. Maybe it would help someone going through something similar. But what happened next surprised even her. The post went viral. Within hours, it had thousands of likes. Then came the comments. Women from all over the world shared their own stories. Some were angry, some were emotional, but all were supportive. They called Zuri brave, they called her wise, and soon they started calling her something else. The silent warrior. The numbers kept rising. 1 million views, then 2, then 3. Over 40,000 shares. Hundreds of women sent private messages thanking her, saying her story gave them courage to leave toxic relationships, to ask questions, to trust their instincts. Zuri sat back and read every message with tears in her eyes. Not sad tears, but powerful ones. She had gone through the worst heartbreak of her life, but now that pain was helping others. Her silence had become a voice for so many. Zuri never revealed her name. She didn't want fame or attention. She just wanted peace. And she had found it, not just for herself, but for others too. People shared her story on blogs, relationship pages, even podcasts. Her words were quoted again and again. You can have him. I hope the ring fits. I'm keeping the receipts. It became a kind of anthem for women choosing self-respect over heartbreak. Zuri had no idea her quiet strength would go so far, but now it was inspiring people around the world. Even though her marriage had ended in just a few days, Zuri knew she had gained something more important, her power, and she had given that power to others too. She wasn't just the woman who got hurt. She was the woman who rose, who took control, who didn't let betrayal define her. And while Tendai faded into silence, probably wondering how it all slipped away, Zuri stepped into something new, a life built on truth, strength, and peace. She had entered Cape Verde as a bride. She left as a warrior, and her story, quiet, bold, and unforgettable, would continue to echo long after the ring was returned and the honeymoon ended. Because Zuri had shown the world one simple truth. Sometimes the strongest voice is the one that doesn't scream. Today, Zuri lives a very different life. After everything she went through, she didn't let pain break her. Instead, she turned it into power. She moved to Dar es Salaam and started something beautiful, a women's retreat by the ocean. It's a quiet, peaceful place where women, especially newlyweds and brides-to-be, come to rest, heal, and learn. Zuri sits with them in small groups, listens to their stories, and gently teaches them how to notice the warning signs, the small things that sometimes get ignored in love. She helps them understand their worth, their voice, and their right to walk away if something doesn't feel right. She never speaks in anger. She doesn't bash men or talk about revenge. She simply shares her story, not with tears, but with calm strength. Her journey from heartbreak to healing has inspired so many. Women come from far places just to meet her. Some say her voice feels like home. Others call her their silent hero. And Zuri, she just smiles, thankful that her pain now has a purpose. As for Tendai, no one knows where he is. He vanished after the story blew up. Maybe he's still out there, holding that ring meant for another woman. But if he is, one thing's for sure. He knows now that he never deserved the real jewel he had.